Lions, your network, BTN.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here for the BTN Championship Tournament, where we've already seen so many great games today. We saw Illinois advancing on to the finals of their respective side of the bracket. We've got more amazing games playing out. We also are going to get the opportunity here in just a second to jump into the final game between Ohio State and Penn State. We are oh so excited about that. As always, I'm Aaron, but it's D-Gon. You guys know the drill at this point. We've been doing this for 8 weeks. Thank you for being my interpreter there, D-Gon. I appreciate that. Just give me, I guess I'm doing the whole thing. I'm doing the whole show. All right, here we go. Solo Cast 2019. This is it, everybody. We're going to be hopping into this game here in just a second. We saw some shout-outs for it in chat. We have an opportunity to get it done before we go into our next game because I am so excited to see this match, particularly around Penn State, because Penn State was a school that started off this season not so good. Ohio State's looked pretty consistently solid the whole time. Penn State has stepped up their game in a big way, and I can't wait to see how they perform here going into this last game.
Yeah, Penn State, a team that was underperforming, and I think actually overperformed at the end of the season. If you're talking about underperforming, you think about Ohio State. Let's take a look at this Penn State roster. Beal in the top lane, good versus evil. Tempo, Scream on Mike, and June Ray. June Ray, solid support. You can lead the horse to water, but the horse wasn't drinking early. But then when it turned into a Nittany lion at the end of the game, at the end of the season there, Scream on Mike all of a sudden turned into one heck of an Alex Straza, if you will, for Villanova. Again, a solid bot laner here and can pop off and has been the key to turning the season around.
Yeah, he's been integral to that there, and yeah, exactly. There's a lot of comparisons you can draw in other conferences here for collegiate play, so that is oh so cool to see how this team has progressed over the course of the season. They are, of course, going up against their opponents in Ohio State. Ohio State, one of these schools that's kind of flown under the radar a little bit.
This is a team that had huge aspirations. This roster is filled with guys that have been here before, that very confident, and unfortunately for them, they haven't been able to put it together. This is their last shot against the Nittany Lions. This is a good old Big Ten rivalry here, and I think both these teams have such interesting stories because one's on the ascendancy, one's on the descendancy, but they might actually be meeting right now in terms of their team power.
Well, clearly this is a pretty even matchup as we are seeing game number 3 with this one. So we're going to witness the culmination of this battle between these two squads here in just a second. Again, I'm really excited to see how this is going to play out. Let's just get into the game, D-Gon. We can talk about it all day, but what you guys want to see is some action. So let's get into it. This is going to be game number 3 between Ohio State and Penn State.
We are going to talk about it all day, because here we go. We're in the game.
No, we're going to stop talking, D-Gon. That's how this works.
I already did that
pretty
bit.
sure you did.
Penn State, the big up and up for them is that they were the ones that beat Maryland. They beat Maryland 2 weeks left into the season. Highly unexpected. Got to sit down and chat with one of their players, Tempo, I believe, on the win and what it meant to them. And it was like, yeah, it was just another day. We went in. We know that we've been close throughout the season, and that win against Maryland justified our efforts. And they feel like they have the skill to get there on the opposite side. Ohio State, we saw them at the beginning of the season. They put on one heck of a fight against Michigan State, against Maryland, but they just haven't been able to put it together. And here, 1-1. Both teams one win away from moving on. The other one calling it quits for the rest of 2019.
Oh, yeah, we didn't get a chance to walk through this draft here, D-Gon, so let's take a look at that before the action heats up too much. I use the term interesting quite a bit when I describe drafts.
Yes, you do.
This one's weird for Penn State.
Yeah.
We've ascended interesting.
I think it's more of like, hey, you've got one major threat in terms of an assassin for Kane. And then you have another assassin-like AD carry. You can play Twitch multiple ways. Again, sit in the back line, use Rat-a-tat-tat, or you can assassinate. Use Rat-a-tat-tat to just show up on someone's doorstep after you ambush. And then you've got a tanky frontliner and Buell. And with Buell, it's scary because a volley bear can split push. However, I don't think he can out-split push a York. So I'm pretty sure this is more about tanking up damage, slowing down the split push of York, showing up to team fights first, and then sitting in front of whoever Scream on Mike is killing.
Yeah, watch for the team fights from Penn State coming out here. They're going to want to try and set up some cheeky picks, especially around this Kane. We're keeping an eye on good versus evil, how he's able to find these unique flanks. Over to the side, a little bit more of a traditional composition is good versus evil. Bringing a friend here into the river. As Bale is looking to rotate through on the Scuttle Crab. However, on the flank of this simultaneously, we are seeing Lamau Zedong looking to join in on this party. Able to get it done. Not able to steal the Scuttle Crab, though.
Well, I'm loving the fact that both teams fighting early for that Scuttle Crab, not shying away from aggression. Usually in that game 3, you see teams start to tense up a little bit and not want to make the mistake. In this case, both junglers saying, that Scuttle Crab is mine, everything is mine. It doesn't matter if we win or if we lose it. I'm going to fight for it no matter what. And Kane able to pick that one up and get a slight early lead here on the Sejuani. And now chasing the Sejuani down on the opposite side. You can see the pings going down onto the river. Oh, and Penn State's bot lane not able to move first, but something that does happen. Sejuani forced out of the river yet again. It's a level 3 to a level 2. And so both Scuttle Crabs going over to the side of Penn State Nittany Lions.
Nice opening here from them, starting to build a little gold lead as well. Pretty much dead even across the board in terms of CS. Slight advantage for the Kane. He's been finding that advantage and actually going to pull off a little bit of an aggressive invade here, denying Sejuani some of this early CS. I like this play from the Kane, knowing the good versus evil. Normally you want to sit back, you want to farm up a little bit more on this champ, and Sejuani is traditionally the one who wants to go and make the presence known in these lanes, but this time it's good versus evil, playing aggressive from the outset.
Yeah, good versus evil. Just setting the tone for his team and making sure things get taken care of. Buell and Lamau Zedong, that's where I want to put our eyes to, because I think that's a matchup where it's relatively volatile. On the bottom side of the map, it's going to be Scream on Mike deciding, hey, we're going to go in and try to all in this Ezreal. Otherwise, Ezreal and Nami can play relatively safe while being lane bullies. It's a nice combination. The big thing with Ezreal now, no double tier build, so he won't continually scale. However, a lot of guys have swapped out that second tier item, Seraph's Embrace, for Luden's Echo, because it also has mana on it. It's just one big burst of gold at the end compared to buying a tier, stacking it up, and having a ton of mana. So not a huge drop off here for the Ezreal. Still will be very strong items 1 through 4.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on this. Just sit back and poke, keep up the pressure. Oh, lots of damage. The Sun going through on Scream on Mike, actually forcing back the retreat. A lot of damage going on through into Ice playing. Nice little trade there from Penn State. However, you've got the Nami with the heal. Actually, a lot of sustainability from the supports down in this bottom lane. Yeah,
both supports can heal up, but the big difference is Nami has the CC early on, whereas you get some damage out of the power chords coming out of Junrei, but nice little bubbles there for some summoner spells out. The Ignite used proactively by Junrei just to be like, hey, look, back up. You're not getting kill off of this Aqua Prism.
You're not going to indeed. And up top, Lamau Zedong taking a lot of damage, throws up the wall, locking in Bale there, but taking a lot of pain in the process. And this Volibear is having a heyday up here in this top lane. Of course, the second I say that, he misses all the CS because Caster Curse is a real thing.
It's indeed a real thing, and we talked about Yorick being able to outsplit and push the Volibear. Not until later, though. Otherwise, Volibear's scary, man. Volibear tanky, dishes out damage, and now with control of the lane and possibly not needing to TP, keep your eyes on the top laner for Penn State. He wants to make the first move, teleport off towards the bottom side of the map, and start snowballing either Scream on Mike, Tempo, or Good versus Evil.
A lot of different options here. Seeing a fairly passive early game, pretty much even in terms of gold right now. I think we're sort of seeing the end of this story, but I imagine we saw a pretty back and forth brawl over the course of this series so far, and neither team wants to be the one to make that first mistake in game number 3. Nobody wants to be the one to give up that first blood, to give over that first turret, and start the snowball in favor of the other team. Both have had momentum so far in this set. The question is going to become who can stay calm, who can not tilt in this final game. Both teams right now just still positioning. We had some early aggression, and now both teams are like, yeah, you know, I don't want to die. So on the bottom side, we do have the jungler D-Nice there. He will walk up and show himself, Scream on Mike, getting a couple extra auto attacks off, and D-Nice just, the lane's just not in a position where he can do anything, and showing that vision there means they have an idea of where the opposing jungler is now. Beal getting aggressive on the top side of the map. Lamau Zedong in a little bit of trouble, forced to back off. And again, power of the Volibear early on. It's a real thing. It is very much a real thing. Forcing back Lamau Zedong, nothing he can do about that, getting all of that additional gold. winning in terms of CS, just having a great time up there. We'll see how Bale is able to transition this into the mid game once he wants to start rotating, all that good stuff. Nice stun going on through. Jinray's going to keep Scream on Mike in a very topped up position right there. No real question mark. Scream on Mike, though, taking a lot of trade. Not necessarily a lot of favorable trades right now. Ice Blade doing a lot of damage. Scream on Mike, we have a little triple force out the flash. Doesn't the ignite on him, though. Can they keep him alive? No, they do not. That's going to be first blood going the way of the Comas.
Yeah, Scream on Mike. This is what I said. It's going to be based off of him if he wants to step up or not. He steps up, tries to get a couple extra autos off, but nice play by Ice Bling to throw down the Essence Flux, still be able to pop it, not using the shift forward, but actually just getting an auto attack off, and it's just enough damage with the ignite by the Comas. First blood heading on over to the Buckeyes.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again here in just a second, because that was a solid series of events. Just a couple of really nice mechanical plays coming up from OSU.
Yeah, and your health right now is almost equal. You know that bubble isn't up for the Comas, and he's sitting inside getting the stacks right there, and you want to expunge those stacks. Now he's at max stacks. You take one extra auto, but he was already at max stacks. You're not going to get any more damage down. And Scream on Mike, last tick of ignite. That's the exact number of damage you needed. And Ohio State take an early kill lead and a slight goal lead.
They are able to whittle ahead just ever so slightly here, but still, Penn State is in this. They're having a solid time elsewhere. This Zillion Corki match have been fairly even so far. Towards the top lane, we are seeing good versus evil with Bale here, looking to try and start something off the wall, getting a lot of work. And Ayla Mao Zedong is forced to flash himself out. Flash is going on in. The ult from good versus evil as well. Not going to have enough damage, but he'll go on in, pursue the kill, and get it done. Bale walks away with his life as well, committing to the dive underneath the turret. Penn State gets it done.
Yeah, they do get it done, and that's the power of the tanky volley bear, but there's the power of the glacial prison. Scream on Mike in a lot of trouble. We know he doesn't have flash already. The ult coming out of Zillion keeps him up alive, but it did burn the heal. So overall, just a bit of aggression for some summoner spells. Top side is just getting demolished right now by Penn State, and there isn't an answer. It does look like this turret will go down in just a bit.
Yeah, one more wave pushing on through.
Dark's not back reset.
No, just going to back up. I mean, look, again, Caster Curse is a real thing, D-Gon. Don't worry about it. We are seeing some counter push coming in the bottom from Ohio State, trying to get some return turret plating of their own. However, this is still a very even match. Doesn't get more even than this. 15.2K respectively for each side. There is a reason we are in game number 3 right now. Both teams are aware of how much is at stake at this point, because the winner will be progressing on. Yeah, they're going into a relatively tough matchup, but still, they want to go out of this with their head held high. They want to not get knocked out in the first round of these playoffs.
They have as well, 1-1. Both teams very, very close, and D-Nice working his way to the bottom bush yet again. Does not have Glacial Prison, so he'll just be here for a follow-up if they use Arctic Assault. Tempo going to take, okay, yeah, there we go. Tempo going to take the blue buff to stay in the mid lane and hold against Dare to Defy's onslaught of Rocket Barrage rockets. And just hold that lane right now. And there it is, the D-Nice backing up, saying, hey, this isn't worth my time anymore. We continually are forcing down here. And I think the next major objective will be the bottom side dragon. A little disappointed with Penn State here. They had the opportunity to take advantage of the TP advantage. Instead, never set anything up on the bottom side of the map where they could do that. And so Ayla Mao Zedong will have TP here in the next fight for sure. Just 10 seconds left on that TP. Pretty sure the fight's not going to break out in 5 seconds.
I would be, I mean, now that you said it, it almost certainly will. But no, I agree absolutely. You're allowing this Ezreal to free farm down here on the bottom. There has been no real pressure down towards him at all. They've been prioritizing this York in the top lane so hard. We're going to see a repeat of the gank we saw last time around. Good versus evil rejoining in the fray. Coming on in on the flank. That is going to be, it doesn't even need to commit the ult to that. Can just walk right on through and secure the kill right there. I would love to see some more of this pressure going on through. Well, we're going to see it in the mid as well, as Tempo is going to be the target. Forced to use the Chrono Shift. This is OSU looking to try and respond. Tempo forcing the flash. Can he get himself out? Yes, he does! Dare to Defy with a misplay. Oh no, allowing Zillion to just walk right out of that.
To be fair, I think that was a good flash and a nice angle to take. It's difficult to land. Plus, D-Nice was kind of in the way. Hard to see the exact angle to shoot your rocket. Nice play by Tempo. I think the misplay was before that. Tempo shouldn't be that far up. He knows that his top laner and his jungler are showing, so there's going to be a gank somewhere else on the map. Instead, he's able to get himself out alive. A bunch of gold on the top side of the map, not only for the first turret, but for the turret plates as well, as we take a replay at that first top lane dive.
Yeah, let's take a look at that again as we are seeing good versus evil rotating on through. Again, it's Bale just starting things off, no surprise there. Exactly how he wants to be. And we're just seeing, I mean, there's no questions asked. They're just going to keep auto-attacking. This is just the bread and butter. That's quintessential gank. That's how it gets done. Again, I want to see this being executed towards the bottom. Let's get this Kane involved. We're seeing a little bit of pressure going into the opposing team's jungle as well, trying to chase down this Sejuani. D-Nice, though, able to back himself right on out of this. Establishing control of the opposing team's jungle is Penn State. They want to set up this vision, and here's the rotation I was asking for, Degon. This is the double rotation. Tidal Wave preemptive from the Comus, finds both members.
What a play.
Absolutely huge from him, putting up the wall of water and shutting down all the aggression. We have 4 members from Penn State here, but getting nothing for their efforts.
Yeah, maybe speak Caster Curse. Good versus evil wants to get something for it.
Getting nothing, Degon.
We got 5 members committed here on the bottom side of the map. All right, fine. We don't get a turret. We don't get a kill. We'll just take the Drake, and TP being used now by Beal. He'll head to the top side to hold that turret a little bit longer. No steal attempt quite yet, but that's a little bit scary. Alamau Zedong could TP here to the bottom side of the map, and there's no response from Beal. Now Dare to Defy getting caught out. There's the TP, and Scream on Mike. What are you doing? You're walking face first into the Corki. He'll be able to walk himself out. So Alamau Zedong's TP a little bit too late. No cutoff there.
I mean, yeah, you did it, but it wasn't pretty, Penn State.
Penn State just like was able to Houdini their way out of that one without any losses and get the Drake.
That was huge. I mean, some nice turret plating in response from Ohio State. But yeah, no, that was a little bit of a sloppy fight there from Penn State. No questions asked. They were able to get themselves out without losing any casualties. And they do secure the Drake, so I guess it wasn't the end of the world, but Ohio State was so close to making that a disaster for them, as we are seeing, of course, the Rift Herald now being started up by Penn State. Turret plating has fallen, so that's going to slow down some of the early propelling of gold in one side or the other.
But here we go. It looks like they're going to fight over this, or maybe not. Good versus evil just leaves, and I don't know if they want to fight over this. Yeah.
Free. If you are the side of Ohio State.
Turbo tax. Well, just a straight numbers game right here as Beal getting close to Dare to Defy. And here comes the Tidal Wave, not going to land either. You've got 2 of your members for Penn State on the bottom side of the map showing as well. And you've only seen 1. You just do quick maths. 4 versus 3, plus the Rift Herald doing damage. We've seen Shelly get in there and get a couple of kills before. Yeah. So I think it was just the wrong call in the first place. And Good versus evil, using the restraint, saying, hey, this isn't right, we messed up, they're going to get this, let's get out, rather than them get this and get like 4 kills and break this game wide open.
Yeah, really heads-up play there from Ohio State, and now they're able to translate this into a turret of their own, which probably means now they can save that Rift Herald for the mid as well, being able to take this up, and they made the swap on over, which is interesting. They kind of preemptively made the swap, but they haven't taken the turret down here on the bottom side. What do you think about that decision, Degon?
Yeah, I think you just try to force this bottom side turret in just a bit. There it is. It'll go down. And again, Alamau Zedong wants to be a split push here. You're holding him down right now by taking the turret. He will be able to control the wave, but now you have an opportunity for Penn State to make a play somewhere else, specifically that mid lane. You know the turret's still up, so I like this play to start off. They're able to go back, cash in, buy your items, and it's completed Greaves, so you get more auto attacks off to get the expunge stacks down if you are Twitch. And it gives you a very clear guide on what your next play is. I love this Corgi stand. Corgi.
The loudest thing ever.
Corgi.
Yes.
That's what it is, you see? It's Corgi.
Yeah. It's pretty cool, not gonna lie. A lot of these skins are actually pretty sick, and making me wish that I spent more money on skins. We are seeing Good versus Evil trying to go on in. Bile is on the flank with the reinitiation from OSU. Screamo Mark's gonna be the target. He's going to get the Zillion to keep him alive a little bit longer, but the great fall with the 2-shot barrage, the Tidal Wave as well. Bale's in a terrible position. Shelly's going to continue to keep the pressure on the tower, allowing OSU to continue this push, should they so desire, and they will. Penn State doesn't have a lot of HP to work with. As you can see, the damage from the Ezreal Ice Blade not quite connecting with all that, but Shelly wants to make sure this push does not stop here. As we see Ohio State off the back of a great reinitiation. Penn State started things off, but but then Ohio State was the one to dictate that pace. And all the while, Yorick is split pushing. That was a 4v5.
Yeah, you know, Scream on Mike is having a game to forget, just because he's consistently gone back and just getting himself wiped immediately. In this case, very low yet again. Junrei doing his best to keep everybody alive. One kill does go down, but Dare to Defy, that's the big one. The big dog taking down the mid laner Tempo. And still, split pushing is the Yorick. Finally, Beal died and is respawned, and he's the one that has to take care of business and slow it down. Let's take another replay at that last fight. And it starts, keep your eye on Good versus Evil. He just consistently is getting chunked and getting, not Good versus Evil, Scream on Mike, getting chunked, and that's a waste right there. That's a waste of the Zillion ultimate. You want to use it on the aggression to distract people. You don't want to use it on your AD carry before he even gets to dish any damage. Scream on Mike just came back from base. He had just gotten back from base. And so with that, you lose a lot of the pressure that you initially had in that team fight, and it makes it so much harder for your team to function. And now Tempo is forced to step up, play aggressive, try to make a play, and just threading the needle right there. Oh, after the stun, and right there, swoop. Oh, the AoE. Oh, no, right there. There it is.
Here we go.
All right, there it is. I knew it was one of those.
He almost got multiple members of that, too. That was sick.
Yeah, almost got multiple members there. Dare to Defy, putting the team on his back right now, doing a solid job slowing down the no fun champion Tempo. 188 plus 2 kills. No response for the mid lane turret. Things are going well for the Buckeyes.
Oh, yeah. This is Ohio State's game to lose at this point. They just turned this game around. It was pretty even going into that big fight, but able to convert off the back of the Rift Tail, pick up a couple of kills, split push with your Yorick. Everything went right for them there. They made a great series of decisions, and with that, Penn State is on the back step. They had a couple of great ganks to start this off. They looked like they were going to shut down Alamau Zedong. They kind of forgot about him. Let him go off and do his own thing a little bit here, and they are paying for it right now. Also not prioritizing ganking that Ezreal, definitely coming back to haunt them.
Yeah, he's not huge yet, but no one in this game is huge.
No.
So Alamau Zedong, I think, has done a good job working his way back in the game. We'll say that. After 0-2, it wasn't looking great. Biol looked unkillable, but you know, when you line up a bunch of champs and CC lock like that, Good versus Evil forced to flash away on that last one. Again, you're just seeing a little bit of coordination from Penn State. They're not going in at the same time. Their priority targets are getting hit by heavy CC, and while they're being focused, their damage dealers aren't dishing any damage. They're nowhere to be found. I like this from Good versus Evil. He went in, got some pressure, was forced to flash away, and then immediately went to the Drake to distract while the rest of Ohio State was distracted. So this is good, but better is when one person is getting CC'd and you use your tanky Volley Bear, you've got the second life from the Zillion, you've got your damage dealer doing stuff. Right now, Scream on Mike's going invisible, walking around and getting hit. Like, he needs to get in position to dish damage.
Yes, he does, and that's really what we got to see from him. He's got to step up as that ADC. The C, of course, stands for carry, and Scream on Mike hasn't been able to do that so far. He's dead even in CS. With his counterpart over in the Ezreal, who's also, again, been fairly quiet, but still able to start getting out the poke in this game. I think the big discrepancy has to be coming from the mid. This Corki has been doing work. Dare to Defy up against the Zillion. The Zillion has felt much less impactful in these fights.
Yeah, Tempo hasn't had a bad game. He just hasn't had any opportunity to dish out damage. What I love about what Ohio State is doing is once Beal comes and joins the fight, everyone just backs off. Everyone backs off and realizes, hey, look, we out-kite them. We don't out-fight them, right? Your split pusher is the Yorick. You've got movement abilities with the Valkyrie on the Corki. You can shift backwards with Ice Ice Bling. You have engage, but more importantly, disengage with the Comus. And D-Nice is your go button, but also your escape button. And so you're just kind of sucking them in and allowing Alamau Zedong to do things like this. Shove the bottom side of the map. For whatever reason, drag in Scream on Mike. And now Scream on Mike has to run all the way across. He's not going to get there in time. This is going to be a split call. Good versus Evil needs to come up big with the smite.
Yeah, Penn State needs to try and make something happen right here. Can they get the steal? The Kane is on the flank. Not lose, so the Shishwani is going to make it happen. And now we see the Kane in amidst all of his foes. Good versus Evil, not going to be connecting with that old Shishwani, but a great crescendo! Hits on the 4 members. This is massive. This is the opportunity. Penn State needs to get back in this fight. Can they get it done? Ice Ice Bling is going to be the turn able to pull him right back through the two-shot barrage, not doing a whole lot of damage. Now Bale is continuing to chase this down. Can there's the side of OSU escape with this? They've got the buff, but can they do anything else with it? Bale is on the charge. Good versus Evil on the flank. That's the double kill for the Volley Bear. Dare to Defy is the next one up. That's the triple kill. Only one member left, and this is Alamau Zedong running for dear life, and that's going to be it. That's the ace for Penn State.
This is the hardest carry job I've ever seen in all of my competitive League of Legends experience from a support. Junrei, who just is sitting and watching his 80 carry go to the bottom side of the map for some reason. His jungler not able to smite steal away the Baron that was sitting at like 300 health. He goes in, gets a big time flash forward 3-man ult. As we take a look at it one more time, huge play from the support player, the actual carry of the Nittany Lions. Watch this one more time. You look in your minimap, Scream on Mike, what are you doing? You can't answer the split push, and if he TPs away, you don't have an answer. And now Good versus Evil, he's the one going in. Look how low this gets. It's at 200, it was at like 500 health. And he like doesn't go in, doesn't smite it away. Good on Good versus Evil to get away.
Here we go.
And then big time flash ulti. He gets 4-man ult. And it slows everything down. It allows Beal, who has the gold lead, to get on in. Scream versus Mike is able to get himself in range. He had to flash forward to get some damage down. And look at the damage by Dare to Defy. Almost burst down Beal. But then there it is, cleaning things up. Huge play by Junrei, turning this one on its head. We were saying earlier, he leads them to water, but throughout the season, Nittany Lions refusing to drink. And he's now saying, you gotta drink, boys. Our season's not over yet. Great play by Junrei.
Yeah, I need to see more from Scream on Mike. The only screaming that's going on is from me as Junrei is going off in these fights. Bayo is there to capitalize. Good versus Evil, unable to win the smite fight, but still doing some pretty good damage for the squad there. So Penn State comes back in a big way. Now 9 kills to 3. They have all their inhibs still alive. They were down quite a bit in terms of structures, but they were able to claw their way back into this. That's the opportunity they needed, but they need to maintain the stabilization here. They cannot allow Ohio State to pick up another big fight. And that's what they're trying to do, setting up party bushes here. Uh-oh, the Twitch is gotta be cautious.
Yeah, he's got to be cautious. Again, Lamau Zedong will continue to scale and will be able to split push later on. He's not at that point yet. Man, I still just can't believe 4-man stun by Junrei. Oh, gosh. All right, I'm coming back down. Coming back down here. And it's just bang even here on the gold. Penn State do have the momentum. They have the kills. But Good versus Evil needs to start picking some things up. 3-0-2. He's able to assassinate people if they're isolated.
Oh.
Ooh, Junrei. That's a big whiff.
That was a big whiff.
There's the caster curse yet again. Oh!
Junrei, I'm sorry. You're terrible. You're so not... Okay, never mind. We're going to stop this right now. As the tidal wave goes on through, every ult in the game is whiffing. Everybody decided their R keys are suddenly made of jelly beans or something. I have no idea what is going on.
Palms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. It's happening all over the place right now. Who's going to land an ult? That's what I want to see. Buell getting sped up. That's a scary volley bear.
That is a scary volley bear, and Lamau Zedong is going to be the target, and staying strong. The rest of this is Penn State. That's first. Whoa, but that massive ult. That true shot barrage.
This is what I'm saying. Scream on Mike just
terrifying.
walks straight into the opposing team's damage, whether it's CC or just taking the full brunt of a true shot barrage from Ice Ice Bling. Either way, Penn State now has control of the Drake. They will pick this one up, and it'll be their third one. There will be a couple more, possibly a couple more, before the Elder Dragon spawns. But Penn State finding picks, and I think they found their way in. You use the speed boost onto the volley bear, and volley bear's just charging at you. So stressful. Holy moly. This has been one heck of a game right now between these two state schools.
I mean, I wouldn't have it any other way given the history of this rivalry, given the fact that we're in Game 3, we're in the playoffs, Degon. I don't want to see just, a quick 2-0. I want to see the bloodbath from both of these teams, and that's exactly what we are witnessing here. It may be kind of low in kills, but the action that we've seen has been absolutely amazing. As we are starting to see Penn State keep up this pressure a bit. They've backed up, they've reset. Can look to buy and bring the pain to OSU right now, and it's still pretty much dead even in terms of golds after all of this action.
All right, so let's set the stage yet again. Gold bang even, 10-3 in terms of kills. Turrets 5-3. Ohio State did work early on, now starting to fall off just a bit. 0-4-0 is your split pusher, not the greatest place to be in if you're Lamau Zedong. He's still building items, trying to get, I believe, Death's Dance there as his second completed item. He's sitting far back on items right now. And Buell, he's the man that starts off these fights. You're looking, it's like, how do we hold someone in place? Junrei is more of like, if his flash is down, he's a supportive engage. He can't be the lead engage. And you saw what happens, right? Sometimes you miss your crescendo and it short hops, and it gives the opposing team an opportunity to step up. So it looks like it just speed up the volley bear and let him go to town. And oh boy, Alamao Zedong, he's in a world of hurt right now. Actually dealing a decent damage. But back and forth. Will the shovel come down? Nope. Not gonna happen.
That was close. Bale started to realize that, wait a second, he's 0-4-0. If he had any other goldness to his name, if he'd done anything else at that point, 0-5-0 now, but like, that's still scary how much damage that Yorick can do. His late game scaling is pretty darn impressive, and now trying to take advantage of this is the side of Penn State, trying to pick up a bear of their own. However, Ohio State is here. They are aware this is going on. All 5 members are going to be there. That key pick onto the Yorick was massive. The tidal wave goes on through, but no real follow-up. Dare to defy on the flank, hits the glacial prison.
They want to fight. They turned off of the Baron, and here goes the rest of the team. Good versus evil, gets caught up in a bubble. This is an opportunity for Dare to defy. Health bars are starting to get low.
Great poke damage, great kite back from Ohio State. He'll do a lot of return chip damage. Now this is a lot of healthy HP bars. Dare to defy, trying to turn this one around. There's the TP on the flank. Good versus evil spots it. This could be absolutely massive as Alamao Zedong is going to try and come back in this. The wall to split things up. Is the rest of the team going to be there? Penn State needs to get out of here, right now. I don't think they can make this happen. Too many low HP bars as Bale once again trying to take on this Yorick. Yorick who came in on the flank. The rest of the team wasn't there to support him. Can they back him up right now in the midst of the entire side of Penn State? Can they get the kill again? The dieback, yes they do, right back into this fight. Committing the sums forward, and Penn State will make that work. Massive miscommunication for Ohio State.
Yeah, and it was after the 4 members that have been alive throughout this whole game did a fantastic job kiting backwards. That's how they played their team composition. That's how they've been finding their advantages. And then Alamao Zedong, he's feeling the pressure. It's so clear that he's trying to force these plays, and it hasn't worked out for them. And here goes Beal again.
Here he goes, going back in. Can he make it happen? Face checking all the damage to the opposing team, and instantly going to die here in just a second. Want to make sure the ult goes back on through, not wanting to trip that from tempo. Baiting that through. Beautiful play.
Yeah, great restraint by Ohio State to not hit Beal. There goes a long range ult. Oh, man. It hit enough members that the damage was taken off of the True Shot Barrage. And Ice Bling, we were saying earlier, he's the one that hasn't been doing so solid. It's actually Alamao Zedong, the one that's struggling. Ice Bling and the Comas have been playing very good, and Dare to Defy has been the carrier as expected. It is 3-12, but those guys are playing like it's 0-0 right now. Solid stuff here by Ohio State to just pull them off the Baron. Alamao Zedong used his TP. Oh man, I'm loving the way that the 4 members of Ohio State from Jungle Down are playing. Alamao Zedong needs to gather his wits here and get himself back in the game, be useful right now, because he's consistently pressing and getting caught over and over again. And, you know, Dare to Defy, D-Nice, and the rest of the guys are going to run out of opportunities to keep covering up for the top lane mistakes.
They are indeed. At some point, this is going to be an irrevocable, moment, something you just can't pull yourself back from. We're hitting the 30-minute mark in just a second here. Getting into this late game, look towards this scaling, and I have to say, I gotta be a little bit nervous. For actually, both teams have pretty solid scaling. Looking at this, you got a Corki, you've got the Yorick, and you've got that Ezreal. But on the other side, Volibear's gonna fall off, but Kane's still gonna hurt. You're still gonna have the Twitch. So, if I'm OSU, do I mind this actually continuing to go a little bit later?
Yeah, I think you're good with the Twitch. The Twitch can do a heck of a lot of damage, and he has 3 items now with the Blade of the Rune King, Runon's Hurricane, and the Infinity Edge. And we're saying, hey, we need you to start making some plays now, Scream on Mike. But imagine how many times he's been hit by CC or Major Ult, and he could have died, and he's only died 1 time. Like,
that's pretty good.
It's been a knife's edge for him there at the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, I mean, he's not necessarily doing a ton, but he's not dying either. Which is fantastic. So again, we've kind of giving him a bit of a hard time, but he's still got the 350 gold bounty on his head, and he has been staying alive in these key fights, but really a lot of it's been Bale and crew going on in and doing a lot of this key work for the squad.
All right, so the Drake will get picked up here, the Cloud Drake, and it's the 4th and final Drake before we get to the Elder Dragon. So Elder Dragon's gonna be a big buff here for Penn State to play with, and here it is, the sped up Volley Bear. That is so scary, but now it's Scream on Mike going forward.
Going on forward, not able to make anything happen. The tidal wave from the Nami to try and disengage through all of that. But that's a key counter initiation tool they are not going to have, as the turret is going to get absolutely shredded by Penn State. You blink and you miss it. Yorick is going to be split pushing through this. The death ball of Penn State cannot be ignored. Yorick will not have TP for this. So if they do start this up and they want to commit to this Baron, that may be potential there from them. Yorick is not going to be able to make it happen, whereas Bale also, if he responds to this, I think that would be a little bit too risky there. Yorick is going to go respond to this, but at some point, I think the Volley Bear is going to reach a point where he can't go toe-to-toe with Alamao Zedong.
Yeah, I think this is a smart play by Penn State. It looked like, oh, they're about to go for the Baron on the split push. But no, you don't have TP. Don't risk it. You're the one with the tempo. You're the one that's breaking turrets, and you can force it down whenever you want. So make sure that you answer the Yorick. Yorick is not very useful in these team fights at 0-6-0, but your Volibear is super useful. So if you have both of them there, your team is much stronger than Ohio State. But if you don't have anyone to answer the split pushing, Yorick can definitely demolish some turrets. So I like this play. Penn State, reset, gather your wits, shove the bot lane out just a bit, wait till TP is up. Don't get caught out by this Ohio State roster. Don't get hit by the Glacial Prison, and make sure you work around the Corki if he has the package Valkyrie ready to go.
It's a very clear set of conditions here for Penn State. Just don't get hit by ults, guys. It's super simple. Now they're going to have to thread this perfect line of simultaneously being able to group enough to be relevant in these fights, but not grouping so much they leave themselves open to the AoE.
Here we go.
This is Bayo up against Mao Zedong right now, but a lot of damage being done in return to Bayo. I think he's starting to reach that point where the Yorick scaling is going to put him in a bad spot. Good versus evil now, going in the tidal wave as well, shutting down Junray, not connecting with anybody with the crescendo, and on the back we do the Kane ult going on through, but he's now surrounded by a ton of people. Massive play there though on the opposite side. Screamo Mike is finally starting to show up, picking up the kill onto Ice. Ice playing. That is going to be the massive pick onto the Israel, and this is the opening that Penn State needs.
Yeah, that's the finally you get the pick there from Scream on Mike. We've been waiting for him to pop off. There it is, Ice Bling, not able to get away from the Twitch. Twitch had to burn Flash, so Scream on Mike will not have that defensively, but you know, that Flash there, Flash for Flash, now gets them a Baron.
Does indeed. This is massive, and this is going to be the addition to the push that Penn State needs to contest against this Yorick, to go on and make sure they can get these last additional turrets, and especially try and get themselves an inhib. That's the goal, T-Gun.
So this game has been close throughout. I want to bring in Zyrene and get his thoughts on this match as a whole so far. Scaling back and forth, the gold leads, the kill discrepancy. What are your thoughts so far, Aiden?
Well, I actually think that Penn State, they've been in such a great position just off of Drakes, because if you think about it, with the 4 Drakes, the 2 that they have, the 2 types, are the best for them to have, because the way they engage the Volibear running at people, the Cloud Drakes are going to accentuate that and allow it to be easier. And then the poke from the Ezreal and the Corki, it's really absorbed by the Ocean Drakes. Like when we saw Viol get away earlier from that True Shot Barrage, it was because the Ocean Drakes allowed him to regen up some HP. So the poke doesn't mean as much either. So Penn State are actually in such a fantastic spot right now, but for Ohio State University, they have to rely on that poke. They have to find a way to poke and then allow their split pusher, who's just gonna, basically never group up ever. He will eventually win that matchup, but it's gonna take him so long to do so, and by that time, the Twitch is gonna be unstoppable. So I feel like Ohio State, the way they have to win is through this top lane, but it's going to be so difficult to do. I actually don't know if they're able to do it at this point in the game.
Yeah, with the Baron-empowered minions shoving down, they're running out of turrets, and I said it earlier, the rest of the Ohio State, the 4 members that aren't the split pushers, have done a great job buying time for Mao Zedong to get online, but at 0-6-0, he's very far away, and so now, no vision. We're going to get ourselves a death push here for Penn State. 1 kill could mean the end of Ohio State's collegiate season as we take a look. Yeah, no one wants to step up there for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, nobody, they realize, oh, wait, they could have backed. They might have reset. But they also might be waiting just around the corner, ready to put us to the gray screen. So very smart play there from Ohio State, not wanting to overextend, not wanting to end their run in the playoffs with 1 bad party bush. That's the worst situation right there if you're in a relatively even game. I mean, yeah, Penn State definitely has control at this point, but what was a fairly close set, giving it all up to 1 person face-checking a bush, that's not ideal.
Yeah, and this is the 4-5 matchup. Penn State, the 5 seed, Ohio State, the 4 seed. But man, this has been the most equal match that we've seen so far in the BTN championships.
Absolutely, this has been absolutely huge. But it might swing one way here really quick if Penn State is able to pick up this Elder Dragon. Like Zyrene said, these Drakes are adding a whole lot of utility to the squad, giving them a whole lot more to work with, and if they accent that with the Elder Dragon, that might be all she wrote for OSU.
Yeah, and there's no way for Ohio State to step up. They're aware that a death push would be the end of them, so they can't step up there. They can't deward their jungle, so you're just kind of stuck there, and you have to give that up and hope that, hey, look, they don't have additional stats from to deal extra damage. We might be able to burst them down. However, 4 Drakes plus an Elder Drake, that's just a lot to fight against here if you're Ohio State. And you know, York has not gotten online at all. I'm excited to see what Dare to Defy and the boys are able to pull out, but they're starting to run out of options.
Yeah, starting to run out of gas at this point in the game. Scream on Mike had a quiet early game, but he's now at 3-1-6, despite the fact you kind of called him out, being like, come on, man, you got to step up. He has been this quiet force throughout this. He may not have been the most flashy player, but he's been consistent for his squad, doing work. And now we're seeing the death ball from Penn State pushing on through. They're trying to pick this up as Bale's going right in. Lots of dodges, though, onto the tidal wave, but Bale is just so tanky at this stage, buying time for his team to take down that inhib turret. You saw the true shot barrage go on through. Might not even have happened. We have full HP bars still for the side of Penn State, and they got what they came for. The next minion wave comes. They want that inhib. They're going back in on Ailem Mazadong, forced to flash himself back, trying to pull back Dean Ice through the midst of it. Perfect stun. Trying to follow up, though, with the massive play of the crescendo, bringing the volley bear back to life. They've done a lot to do so, but he's going to be perfectly healthy off the back of that Zillion. Off the Chrono Shift is there, and now we do have the inhib dropping. That is the base cracked for the side of Ohio State, and now Penn State is going to back right on through. Unless Tempo gets himself caught. Ailem Mazadong might have gone a little bit too far forward. Could this be the bait they're absolutely winning for? Yes, they do. They're able to pick up the kill. That's exactly what Penn State did. That was the opening. Now they're going to try and go back on in. Can they make it happen? 4 members still alive. I don't think OSU wants to contest this any longer.
Yeah, PSU will be backing off here in Penn State University. Getting closer and closer. They won't close it out here. Baron and Power and minions gone. They still have Elder Drake for a little bit longer. Probably about a good 30 seconds. They're going to try to force down this mid lane.
They are going to just force it right on through, and they have the damage
Nice
to
bubble.
get it done. The tidal wave, not going to do a whole lot. The turret still stays alive, though. The Kane ult in the back and get himself out. Not wanting to commit too far, but P-Hole once again just charging right back on in, pulling D-Nice through, and that's going to be the kill going over to Penn State. The inhib as well is the next thing up, and I don't think that this is going to be OSU responding to this. Penn State would have to choose not to win the game right here, right now, and they don't want to have any chance of throwing. They're just going to play this as perfect as they can, unless Bale decides it's time to go right back in. The Comments, the Nami going to be the target. Uses Zonia's to stay alive a little bit longer. Over Tempo is there, going to try to find the follow-up stun. Can he get so? Not able to do so. The Comments is going to die regardless. The crescendo double.
Stun.
Oh, absolutely massive. And Bale is there to get it done. That's going to be it. That's going to be GG. Penn State debating all of us, faking like they're going back, but instead they are going to take this set. And with that, GG. Penn State take the series. They advance over the Ohio State University.
What a game here by Penn State, and they were in front the whole time. They played it slow and methodically, but you've got to tip your hats. You've got to tip your hats off to everyone on that Ohio State roster. The Buckeyes did a great job battling back. Again, understanding how far to push their limits in terms of kiting and dishing out damage, and you feel bad for Ailem Mazadong. He's been a solid player throughout the season, and he just was not able to get it going, especially in this game. And props to them as a whole team, understanding, hey, look, our top laner is having a bad game. We're going to continue to work around it and give him an opportunity to turn on. Unfortunately, the Nittany Lions just had their number every single time, and Beal was a monster in the top lane with a volley bear.
Oh, yeah, absolutely huge. And it got to a point where the volley bear wasn't going to be able to go toe-to-toe with York in the split push. They focused back on the death ball, focused on the team fighting. York just could not split push fast enough to outvalue the team fighting that was going on. Let's take a look at some highlights from that last game, because there were a lot of fantastic moments, and this game started off so early as well, and it all started with that first blood. Ohio State looked solid here, but that was one of only a handful of kills they would get the entire game.
Yeah, and then after that, it was all about diving Ailem Mazadong. Let's just keep... Oh, is this a replay of a replay? No, that's the second death of Ailem Mazadong. They just found the way that they wanted to fight, and it was constantly through that top side of the map. Beal almost getting away there, and the score super close throughout, but then a couple of team fights later, it was just a couple of overstays, and here comes Beal just rolling on through, and this was from the early Baron fight, and it was a wipe here for the Nittany Lions, and they were able to accelerate their lead now and take control of the game. And yes, the gold lead was super close over and over again, and you see this big team fight here.
That was huge.
But Junrei had the massive 4-man stun in the pit, and then over and over again, it was Beal just leading the charge, and then finally Scream on Mike getting online on the Twitch, able to use the rat-a-tat-tat and get to the back line. That broke the game open.
Yeah, it really did. He was able to play a little bit more conservatively. The peel kept him alive. But there were so many great moments. Ohio State, in one of those last jungle fights, they pulled on back. They lost the York, but they were able to rally, return, recovery, TP back in. If in that moment they had been able to get on the same page, find a cohesive team fight. That was the moment they could have turned it around, but unfortunately, unable to do so there. So, the season is done now for Ohio State, but they have nothing to be ashamed of. That was one impressive series. They went toe-to-toe with Penn State, again, a team who has been on the rise the back half of the season. They said they changed some up there. They're moving some stuff around, trying some different things. Whatever they are doing over there, it's working for them.
Yeah, and I think if you're Ohio State, it's tough. It's tough, right? Because you had so much promise in this season, and you guys had high hopes as well. And they started off well, but unfortunately they weren't able to right the ship there. And you could see how hard Dare to Defy tried to carry that team. He did a fantastic job, and unfortunately just came up a little short. So good season for the Buckeyes. Hopefully they'll be able to retool and come back next season. The Nittany Lions now got to take down the big dogs in Michigan State.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a battle there for them. We're going to get a chance to see that matchup later on. I believe tomorrow, going in for that one. So there's a lot of great games here, guys. Unfortunately, we're going to have to hop on to a bit longer of a break here, so please bear with us. There's a lot of exams going on today, and students have got some pretty tight schedules. So stay tuned. We'll update you. We got more information.